and call it app, in app component. So we have just seen that towards the end, and we saw that we can create new components and we can call them in our app component, which is app.jsx. And what happens is that our main component will work like that. So I was talking about the JSX as well. And do you see that in the JSX we can actually call other components over here? We can call other components over here, and we can do lots of interesting things. So right now I just have one component called contact, and I have just called that one. And now what I'll do is that I would like to show you something very interesting. Let's go back and, let's go back and create another component. Components again, I will create always new component in my, so how this NPM start differ from go live? Okay, Mohammed, that's a very good question. Would anyone like to answer this one? Mohammed's question. Mohammed says that how this NPM start is different from go live. Can anyone let me know that why they are different, or what typically is the difference here? Because NPM start is running, they are virtually identical. Okay. Okay, right. Anyone else? They're virtually identical. NPM compiles, Hiba. That's a good point you wanted to make. And anyone else? I need one more, then I'll just talk about this go live and NPM start. Right. So now listen that one. So go live actually runs the static HTML pages or the HTML files. When we have an HTML page, we right click that and we run that. Here, actually, it's not index HTML running simply. Here, actually, it runs that script of the number one thing is that this is how your React project should work. Number two is that this index.html is not a normal file over here. Rather, it's a file that is basically using. So now I'll show you something. If I open it with live server, just to. Yes. Yes, they will allow full reload and all those kind of things. You are very right. Let's see that. If I just run this first app, look at that. This is my first app running. Again, by using, that live server. And if I run that by using 3000 server, which is the server being run by my React. Look at that, the difference between these two. Now, this does not show anything. If I go to its code, inspect, you will know the difference. Who has asked the question, you will know the difference. So if I just go to the elements and the body, and the div ID is equal to root, you see that it says that here the component runs, there is nothing executing inside that one. Mohammed, are you getting that one? Actually, it's not rendering the page. You need to render that one. You do need to compile that one with the web compilation. So you see that it says Webpack compiled successfully. So that will only happen with when you run a script. And this script is this script is nothing out of the out of the thought. It is actually package.json. When I say npm start, Hussein, look at that. Actually, I'm running this script. Shorthand for the contact component. Yes, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. No problem. Yes, RAFC is for for arrow functions, but it's not an arrow function. You can write RFCE. But anyhow, let's create another component. So I go to the components, node package manager. Yes. Now see, I create a new file and I say this header.jsx header. Now please everyone do this with me and we'll just see that how this works. Header.jsx. Now I told you and I'm just repeating that. When I do RAFCE, it actually creates components in a arrow function form. Look at that arrow function. But when I do RFCE, it creates a component in a normal function form. Yes or no? Do you guys understand that one? So RFCE makes a normal function. And if I do RAFCE, it creates an arrow function, React arrow function. So practically speaking, there is no difference between them. And by the end of time, the difference between the two is yeah, Brian, I'm about to tell you. Brian, actually, in general terms, there is no difference between making a function like this, making a React component like this, or making a React component like this. I'll create over here. Why not? Look at that. In general, there is no difference. The only difference is first of like for the time being, the only difference is the syntax here. This actually uses the arrow function syntax and this uses it. Now, if you ask in a detail or a very depth answer, this is the more modern syntax that we use in on daily basis. And also another point, ES5, ES6, like again, ES5, ES6, modern, you can call it modern JavaScript standards. Modern JavaScript loves to use loves arrow function not loves, it's actually, because arrow function is more convenient than the normal function syntax. Brian, do you understand that one? Generally speaking, there is no difference in functionality. There might be no difference at all. But in essence, the arrow function is most widely used by the modern day programmers. Brian, do you get a general idea of that one? And again, it's up to you. And right now, I might be going for just function components. So whatever, but have both our classes essentially merged into one. Yes, Brendan. Yes, that's right. That's right. That they have both been merged into one, and now we are just following the same content all over. Uh, yes. So in theory, as if you are asking, it's in theory, it is newer or more correct. No, it's newer or it's a more advanced. Like the arrow one is the more advanced one, and at times, some in some of the applications, you find that arrow functions or arrow components are more important to, like more easier to use than the function. In essence, there is no difference between these two. In general, there is no difference between these two. Okay, so now let's talk about this one. So I've created a new function called arrow function. Now let's do something with this one. So I come here and I put h1 and I say title of the component. Title. Let's write title. And let's say I say some explanation of the component here. I'm about to tell you something very interesting. I've created and again, I told you that this line, we no more need that. If you keep that, no worries. I just generally take away import React. We don't need to do that. Now, please do that because we are about to do something very important. Now, I want to call this function into my app component. So I'll go to my app.jsx or app.js. I come here, and for the time being, I'm just taking away everything away from here. And let's, for example, say I want to directly call this header component. And of course, I'll need to import that. And do you see that my contact has quickly gone into like DULT form because now I have components/header. Now see here. Now my application will be running, of course, and I'll show you, but not this, rather this one. So look at that. Okay, I'll have to refresh that. And it is compiling, it's still compiling. You see that? Okay, so title with some explanation. And again, since right now there is no class being defined over here, so it's actually just using that one. But let's do that. Maybe let's put that in a div with a class, and I would like to give it a class of app again, the same that we are using, and we'll put this header inside that one so that it comes in the center just for the purpose. And again, we can do that some other way. Everyone understands that one. This is the header component, and I can even call here the contact component because contact is also imported on the top. I can bring the contact component as well. Look at that, contact me and header. Everyone is with me because I'm about to start something very interesting. So go to the notes. I would like to tell you here something called props, which is again the short form of properties. What are props? Props are like parameters. I should write props to the components are like parameters to the functions. Props is something which is called, as I said, props is something, props to the components, they resemble as parameters to the functions. When we call a function, when we define a function or call a function, we pass some parameters. Remember, everyone? In React, when we pass something to a function, the component, it is called as props. What does that mean? I come to my app.js. Adam, your page crashed. Maybe you have just look at the code here, and I would like to share this fragment code here. Maybe you have just missed that code. And if you feel, I can take your screen and we can just talk about that. Are you using the same code? Okay. Would you mind sharing your screen, Adam? No problems. I can have a quick look at that. Okay. Righto. So okay, looks good. Can you show me the like how it is crashing on the browser?
Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm only sharing VS Code. Just give me 1 second there.
Sure.
I'll just share the whole thing. And this is what's coming up.
Wonderful. I understand what's that problem. Can you go back to your code, VS Code? Look, you have not used import header at the top. You have not imported or header, defined the header. So just go and do import header with a capital H from okay, and /components/header. No need for JSX. Wonderful. Save that.
Okay.
And now show your output.
Ooh.
Okay. Element type is invalid. What is that? Check the render. There's a render method of app. Element type is an expected string, but built-in. Okay. Can you go back to your code? Just hold on. Oh, can you close this folder structure by the way for a second, because it's just for no reason it's here. Yeah, just give me a second. App div class app and class header. Div header is there. It should work fine. Can you show me your terminal by stretching it a little bit from the bottom? Yeah, can you show me the terminal? Okay. Okay, there's just few warnings. Can you go back to your running page and refresh that for a second? Refresh that. Okay. Element type is invalid. Okay. Can you go back to your there? It looks like, I'll have to just look into your, can you show me your contact component? Contact component. It does not look saved. Click on that. Can you hit save here? Okay. And can you go to the header component as well? And hit a save here as well. Good. Now go back to the file and run that. You see that you did not save those things, right? Right. Okay, wonderful. So I'll share my screen. Now, can I have a quick feedback from everyone? Are you guys with me? We have got a header component and we have got, we were discussing these props. Can I have a thumbs up? Everyone has the header component inside that. Can I have this one from everyone? So we have got the header component. Now see here, while calling header component, I pass a prop from here and I say title is equal to first application, or let's say, to do application, to do app. In this way, what we do is that we can pass certain properties to a component while calling. Now, while you are passing these properties, of course, you can receive these properties in that one. So to receive these properties, we need to define a keyword here that is props. That is a default keyword. We have just done that. And if you want to take out the value from this one, we know that we have sent a prop called title. So I'll say props.title. Now, how many of you understand this one? You see that to do app. So now this header component is receiving a props from here, title, and it just displays that props over here. Now, you will be convinced more with this one. If I call this header again, I can call it 1,000 times and it will asynchronously come. And title is equal to, for example, school application, something like that, school app. Do you guys understand what is happening? I'm passing a title props from here, and in header, I'm receiving that in the props and extracting it by props dot title, because props is the properties coming from behind and dot title is this is the property that I passed it from here. Are you guys getting that one? I'll write down the theory of the props. Now, if I write, for example, title, after title, I write, okay, I'll tell about that one, Brian. Brian, you always go very fast. I'll come to that one, but let me just complete a bit of the basics. So text is equal to some text here. I'm passing another props. Text is equal to some text. Now see here, it means that I have, rather than writing some explanation, I can just come here and I can say props has another property. Okay, no problem. Oh, no problem. So props dot text. Now look at that. Now the text is also appearing over here. And do you see that for the second time, I have not passed any text. So there is no text appearing over here. Why? Because header is looking for this text over there. Brendan, are you making sense of it? Again, if I come here and I pass another property of text here as well, text is equal to school app here. If I pass that one, look at that. Look at the output over there. School app here. Oh, not Brian, please don't mind it. I just sat out of that because I'm just Brian, if you know the concepts and I'm going from the very basics. So first of all, I'm telling props and then I'll talk about this destructuring that you're talking about, right? So yes, that would definitely come up. Okay. So can I have a thumbs up from everyone who understand the props a little bit? We call the component, I'll make it bigger. We call the component by passing certain values, and these values are received in a variable called props. And after receiving those values, we can just show these values like this. So we know that I have passed title. Sorry, I'll just close that. I have passed title and I have passed text. So I come in header and I say props.title, props.text. Now, does that make my component much more useful that I can call now this header any number of times. I can call it again and I can say title is equal to, for example, attendance app. Attendance app. And I say the text is equal to some attendance app here. Look at that. If I hit save, look at the output. I will have third time as well as it. And these all props will these all applications or these all headers will appear. Oh, it's not coming up. I did not hit save. So now if I just show you, attendance app is also there. And do you see that? Brendan, what I showed you, that these all components are coming asynchronously. So a component is just being called, and it is called only once you can call it, and it's just showing all those components over here. And allow me to take away contact for a second, just to show you. So these are 3 header components that I have used. So do you guys understand the concept of a little bit of component? I'll write it over props. So props are, so we pass them while calling the component and receive them in called component, right? Like this, we receive them in props and we can just extract them out. And other than that, this this component can have its own text as well. There can be certain own text as well. Make sense, everyone? Now, here comes what Brian was asking, and Brian, again, I'm sorry about that if you felt. So now Brian was asking, to take out these props, we can have multiple ways of taking out the props. First way is this, and you have used that one. The second way might be, I come here and I say, for example, let, for example, let X is equal to props dot title. Let Y is equal to props dot text. Look at that. I'm just trying to tell you something very interesting. Let X is equal to props dot title. Let Y is equal to props dot text. And now instead of writing props dot title and props dot text, I can write Y. Oh, sorry. I can write X and I can write a Y here. Yes, exactly. So props would be properties within a class. Props are title and text preset terms. I'd write custom words and did not work. Oh, no, these title and text are not preset terms. Nasir, you can give anything. For example, I can come here and I can say, what I can say, maybe anything, name is equal to like that. But whatever you pass in, remember, whatever you pass in, you will have to receive with the same name. Are you getting that, Nasir? Look at that. You have to fix these fields now. So now this will not be receiving as props.title. Rather, it will be received as prop.name. Nasir, did you get that? Yes, Brian is very right. Had to match the incoming fields as well when you are receiving that. Nasir, do you make sense? Whatever name you are sending it to with, and you have to receive with the same name. Did you get it? And again, it's the same functionality. It is taking the title, storing it in X and storing it in Y. Can I have a thumbs up from everyone if you understand? Oh yeah, okay. Now, do you understand everyone? Now, I would like to tell you something really, really interesting so if you guys feel, I'll do something for you. I'll copy this one and I'll put that in the notes because you should have all the shapes of this program. I'll keep on changing that. So this was when you can extract out in the single variables. Now extracting these values can be in multiple ways. It can be like this as well. If I come here and instead of let's put it this other way. I can come here and I can say let, right? And I say, for example, let in arrow, I say title, comma text is equal to props. And now I have received the title in the title name and I should have received the text in the text name. This is, if you guys remember, destructuring. Props is not iterate. Oh, sorry. It's not, it should be curly brackets here. Yeah, look at that. Title and text. And I'm not getting the title. Why? Can anyone tell me? Do you know that why it's not showing the title over here? Because remember, I changed the title to name. Remember everyone? So that's why it is not. So if I just change it to title. So again, you know that it was just to understanding that I can change this something and anything. Now look at that. Now the title will appear and the text will appear. This is called destructuring the props. This is second way. Kyle, are you getting that one? This is the second way. You destructure them in an object that a title and text will be coming from the props. So you don't need to write props.title, props.text. Rather, you destructure them from the props and use them. This is another shape. So I'll copy this one for you as well in the notes. This is another shape. I'll write that. So I'm just writing all those shapes because I will be changing a little more. Rather than even doing that, there is another shortcut. If I take away this and I come here, instead of writing props, if I know the properties that are coming, I can directly write them over here. How many of you guys understood this one? Instead of destructuring them here, we can destructure them in the function area as well. Just destructure directly from there. Brendan, do you make sense of it? Directly